A target that's undefined is never going to be achieved. A target undefined never gets achieved inside it. So you've got to measure what you're moving towards. If you don't have a measurement of what you're moving towards, you have no way of gauging if you're progressing or not progressing. You have no way of guessing whether you're successful or unsuccessful. You leave it arbitrary to the way you feel. We showed you we did almost 80 EEGs on people's brains, and we studied them and we looked at them, and we found that the average brain scan, actually when we rewired their brain age decreased by an average of 17 years in doing the work. So the work that we're talking about here is not arbitrary. The work that we're talking about is actually making health changes, life changes, and those things actually are changing the way that you function. Because I want you to think about this just for a minute. If your brain was functioning better, you tell me. I'm not the wizard here, but you tell me. Mike, do you think your brain is going to make better decisions if your brain is functioning better? 100% it will. 100% it will. So a lot of times people will sit and say, well, all this stuff is like hocus pocus, and it's really not, there's no validity to it. That's actually not true anymore. We actually have 100% validity. We know exactly how the science works. We know exactly what the process is. We know exactly what we need to do to be able to change someone's brain. Question becomes, is that how do you do it? What do you do? How do you take that process and grow that? Right? So our brain is designed to consistently change neoplastically to be able to grow and evolve. What that means is this, is that our brain is constantly evolving and changing. So that means whatever's going on in your life or whatever's gone on in your life, you have the ability to change it so that it can grow. If you don't change your wiring, you are seriously setting up your family to live the exact same wiring that you went through. And you are literally setting your DNA again and again to experience the same things inside of it. And whatever is going on with you is brought on by your parents and your family, and you can get as motivated as you want to. It won't change anything. Motivation won't do it. You'll have to get inspired by it. And when you wake up to the inspiration within you, you'll start to sit and say, now my life starts to change. Motivation will keep you going up and down and up and down and up and down. Inspiration will keep you moving this way. Most people live as a net zero life. Don't be most people. Most people, I'll say it again, most people live at a net zero life. And what I mean by that is this. They came, they went, nothing changed. Think about that just for a minute. They came, they went, nothing changed. You don't have to be that. Most people don't understand what their financial independence number is. When I ask people across the world and I say, how much money do you really want to make? And they'll say billions of dollars. And I'll say, okay, great, let's find millions of dollars. How many millions? I don't know, whatever it takes. I just want to make millions of dollars. Okay, great. A target that's undefined is never going to be achieved. A target undefined never gets achieved inside it. So you've got to measure what you're moving towards. If you don't have a measurement of what you're moving towards, you have no way of gauging if you're progressing or not progressing. You have no way of guessing whether you're successful or unsuccessful. You leave it arbitrary to the way you feel. And what I'm trying to say is that if you're basing your life to feel based on external circumstances, you're waiting to be motivated. I'm not waiting for that. I'm not waiting for you to, and I hope that that's not you either, but I'm not waiting for that to sit and say, you know what? I'm waiting for somebody else to define whether how I feel about success, how I feel about myself, my relationships, any of that. I'm taking charge of that for myself to sit and say, you know what? This is how I get to feel based on the progress I'm making. And if you're making progress in your life, you will feel like you're doing something worthy, no matter what. Our brain is designed not on abundance. Our brain is not designed to this place of living this life of completely on, just feeling good and abundant mind and having an abundant mind and just be free. Yeah, there's a part of it that you don't want to live in fear. I'm not saying that, but you're never going to remove fear. It's impossible to live without fear, but it's how you manage the fear that you have that matters. And when you can manage the fear that you have, then you can transcend it and move forward. But our brain works on three formats. It moves from protection to security to abundance. And your brain is looking at it and saying, I got to first protect myself, and then I got to move into security, then I can move to abundance. Because let me tell you this, if you're worried about how you're going to pay your electric bill and how you're going to pay your phone bill, and if you have a job tomorrow, you are not going to live in a land of abundance. I don't give a shit. It's not going to happen. I don't care how many times you want to get motivated. I don't care how many times you go to a seminar and you say, oh my God, she's so beautiful, or he's so amazing. They say to live in abundance. I'm just going to be in abundance, and the universe will show up and magically show up. It does. You know what? I'll tell you something else about the people that live in that land. They're usually broke. Hate to tell it to you, hate to say it how it is, but they're usually broke. I know, I've spoken to many of them. And so I'm not trying to end up saying, you guys should end up broke. I'm trying to sit and say, hey, look, screw being broke. I'm trying to sit and say, let's wake up and say, let's not wait on this positivity. Let's not wait on this land of abundance. Let's think about it strategically. Our brain is built on survival. It only thinks into a future that is actually going to move there when you actually have today protected. So we move in a state of protection, protect our environment today. Once you create protection, your nervous system goes into what's called neuroception of safety. Then it moves into itself of the second phase, which is called interoception, what I call security. Right? These are all neurologic phases. And interoception is looking at the environment around you and balancing it. Then you move into abundance. That's when you move into what I call more the cosmic, the energetic, the space around you where you can actually be in that state. And if you look at it, then you have to ask yourself the question, okay, am I in a state of protection or my state of security? Because if you don't have your bills paid and you're riding all this debt, and debt is not bad. We're going to cover debt. I'm going to give you a formula how to rechange debt so fast like that. You're going to be like, holy crap, that was so easy. I don't know why I stressed about it. But you're going to change these things. And then you're going to be able to move into the state of abundance momentarily. I hope you get that. It's momentarily that you may feel abundant. But then you know what you're going to do? You're not going to live there. You're going to fall back into security and you're going to fall back into protection. It's normal. Every single day. You wake up in the morning, your brain is not scanning for opportunities. It's not. Your brain is scanning to match your identity. And every human being is looking to match their identity and say, does this match my identity? Does this match my identity? Does this match my identity? And based on that, you'll say yes or no to certain decisions. Everyone's focused on the world and making this impact and all this delusionary thinking. I'm more focused on the person that's in front of me right now. And the more I help you become balanced, the greater opportunities that'll create. Because we become disassociated in the outcomes. And we, instead of looking at the person right now in front of us and saying, okay, you're the person right now that needs to find balance. You're the person right now that needs to look at it and say, I need to become balanced in my life. And then if I become balanced, then I'll be able to create that energy. Positivity, positive thinking. If you're positively expecting and expectations and saying, you know what, I'm going to create it no matter what, all that shit is going to cause you chaos. TJ, I see your son right there. He's our 13-year-old friend, I know. And so I'll tell him the same thing, is that don't be positive. It's not about positive thinking. Be balanced. Be governed. When you're balanced in your life, you're going to be able to create what you want to, and you're going to be able to manage what you want in life. Most people don't understand that inspiration is about bringing oxygen and life into your body. When you become inspired, what happens is you get oxygen into your system. And when you get oxygen into your system, you get to your brain. And when you get oxygen into your brain, you actually goes to the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex starts to wake up. And you get better ideas, better decision-making, better thought processes. And so what happens is that the more you actually get oxygen into the system, you wake up your prefrontal cortex. It's going to sound crazy, but you guys have seen those sci-fi movies like Star Trek where you see people's brains that are like giant in the front, right? Yeah, that's going to happen